Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Epi Ludwig, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Mark Walker, co-founder and CEO of Revved Up. Mark, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Epi. So good to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Great seeing you, Mark. Mark, tell us the story behind the Revved Up. What sparked the idea, and what problem were you seeing in a market that others weren't addressing it when you started?
Yeah, sure. So look, I've been leading commercial teams for 20 years now, hence the grey hairs. I've been a chief revenue officer for three times, three tours of duty in three different businesses. And for me, the big gap was how can we execute account-based marketing campaigns more consistently and more scalably. I saw that they worked very, very well, but they were very expensive, very time consuming, very clunky. We could only ever go after our top 10 accounts a quarter. And I thought with the advent of AI, there's got to be a better way to produce really great educational relevant content that reaches buyers at all their different buying stages. And that's what I'm building with Revved Up.
Nice. And are you mostly in Europe or all over the world, or what's the
All over the world, all over the
all over
world.
the
Yeah,
world?
we have team members in I think seven, eight different countries. We've got clients all over the world. So yeah, very very much a global business.
Nice. Now, obviously, the Mark running a company, a very dynamic and dynamic business and industry that is changing all the time. How do you balance efficiency and impact, especially when Revved Up promises to save teams time and drive better conversations?
Sure. I mean, look, efficiency and impact, they can't be traded off, right? We work with clients, they don't want to trade something that's non-impactful for efficiency, right? That's a false trade-off. So we have to always make sure we're achieving both. So what we're looking to do is save teams a huge amount of time on some of those manual processes that went into building ABM campaigns. So, for example, doing really deep, complex account research and stakeholder mapping can now be done through AI, which will save teams days a week. Creating really great content, copywriting used to take teams again a lot of time if they ever got very good at it at all, and we can do that in a matter of seconds now across hundreds, thousands of different prospects. So that's the efficiency side of things, but ultimately we're judged on results. Right, we have to drive impact into those businesses. So we really have to look at, are we getting good responses? Are the campaigns delivering results? Are we generating meetings and pipeline? So for me, it's not a trade-off, right? We absolutely have to do both.
Yeah. Obviously, you probably have this pushback. So I'm not the one that I'm the only one probably uh, uh, raising this question, but obviously there is a lot of hype around the automation sales, right?
Mhm.
How do you ensure that what you're building still feels personal and human in this case?
Yeah, sure. So look, we offer a hybrid service, right? We are a platform, and a lot of what we do runs automatically through the product. But there are certain parts of go to market and ABM that I still don't believe AI is good enough for executing autonomously. One of those is list building. So we have a manual approach to list building still, and we also have a very manual approach to campaign setup. So we have to really understand all of our clients' go-to-market strategy. We need to understand their business. We need to be able to build out well thought through and detailed personas and ideal customer profiles and brand and tone of voice. All of those things go into building really strong and effective campaigns. But ultimately, we've invested an enormous amount of time and resources and energy into making sure that we get the two things right that deliver great results. One is really understanding a prospect. So that is deep research, deep insights, true context. And two, turning that into really meaningful and engaging content. And yes, there are many, many bad examples of AI producing poorly thought out and poorly written content. I absolutely stake our claim that we're not one of them, right? We generate very, very great content that feels and sounds human. And the way we can gauge that is the responses we get back, right? We have people writing back to our AI outreach like it's human because they cannot tell the difference.
Yeah, yeah, that's the key. Now, what do you think most companies still get it wrong about the you know ABM event, even with all the tools available today? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, honestly, I think there's still a misconception that account-based marketing has to be complicated and expensive, and only for your top 1 to 2% of accounts. I think many people don't realize that the core principles of ABM, which is selecting the right people to go after at the right time, doing your research and having a strong point of view based on that context, and then generating exceptionally good content that's educational and valuable to them, distributed across multiple different channels. Sounds kind of complicated, but it's not really. So long as you've got the right platform in place, it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. So I think many people miss out on the idea of ABM because they're fearful it's too complicated and too expensive. And that is a misconception I would love to put.
And you're working mostly with who? With the marketing professionals, I assume, right?
We do. So our main stakeholders within organizations tends to be with the marketing team, but we do always have a relationship with the sales team as well, because good ABM has to cut across both sales and marketing.
Yeah,
That is another mistake people make, right? ABM is not a marketing only activity. It has to have buying and share of mind with the sales team as well.
both. Yeah. So the space is moving fast. There's a lots of things going on in terms of innovative solutions. How do you personally stay grounded and focus steering through so much change?
It's a good question. Sometimes you've just got to put one foot in front of the other. I think a very key thing is not to get sucked into the LinkedIn echo chamber. It's very easy to read things and take them for granted on LinkedIn, and I think so much of it is smoke and mirrors. So I think we just try and focus on the things that matter, which is, are we serving our clients well? Are we delivering them results? And what is the actual market, not the LinkedIn echo chamber, talking about, and how fast is it moving? Those things keep us grounded, right? Focus on delivering value, putting one foot in front of the other, and executing against our vision without getting distracted.
Yeah, delivering value is the key, right? And so if you're not falling in love with that, then you're missing the whole point why you're doing the business in the first place, right?
Absolutely.
Now, Mark, where are the place where you get the trends that's happening in your space? Where the conferences or the forums or
So for me, it's always speaking to people, right? Like that is the most important thing. And you can have a little bit of recency bias when you speak to people because you don't obviously have the quantitative view. But I think it's more powerful to listen to people than it is to go and look at, again, a LinkedIn feed or go to a conference, because you've got to remember, in all these other forums, people are selling something, right? They're selling their point of view, they're selling their software in some way, shape, or form. When if you have good, honest conversations with people who are operators in the market, that's where you pick up the real reality of what's happening on the ground.
no? Is there a book that helped you shape how you think about building companies and leading teams?
Oh man, I've got like a massive bookshelf of books. It's kind of
So Are
crazy.
you are you are you more like a book reader, like physical book reader, or it seems like it, right?
I am, yeah, yeah. I don't have it behind me. It's in another room, but yeah, I've got a huge number of books that I've read over the years. So I'm an avid reader. But I would say, look, I think some things really stick with me. So, Good to Great is a wonderful book. And if there's one lesson you take out of it, it is that you need to get the right people on the bus, right? Having good talent matters almost more than anything else, right? Get good talent and everything else takes care of itself. And another key thing that I would say has been really near to my heart over the last year or so is coming across stoicism. So there's a great introductory book called The Obstacle is the Way, and by Ryan Holiday, and I definitely recommend that, particularly to founders, because every day is an obstacle, and you can either take that as a negative, or you can embrace that and see it as the challenge that you want to go after.
Yeah, good to great. I'm starting to read that book again, so it's truly a great reminder about getting the right people on a bus is super important. But also, I can probably think about alignment, right? So today we're just so much going on. We're doing so much assignment, but how can we keep our teams more aligned? I think that's a challenge, right?
It's always a challenge. It's always a challenge. Particularly, look, if you're in a startup, it's a challenge because you have so many opportunities ahead of you. If you're in a more mature business, it's a challenge because there's so many more people and there's agendas and politics
Yeah.
internally. So every stage is a challenge with alignment. But I think for me, the key thing with alignment, and I've led go-to-market teams of over 100 headcount, and Revved Up is a much smaller team. We're around 12 people now. It is making sure that everyone knows what the vision is, and then trying to break that down into quite granular steps on a weekly basis, so everyone knows what are the most important things that you need to achieve each week. And sometimes it gets overcomplicated, and it can be as simple as that. Are we going each week towards the bigger vision, and are we making progress, and can we break that down into clear tangible objectives that people can execute against?
Yeah, that's great. Mark, what does the word bold mean to you?
Oh, good question. I think being bold is being willing to step out from the norm and take a chance. It's having a unique point of view, right? Like if you cannot be bold if you're trying to fit in with everyone else. In order to be bold, you have to be willing to stand out, potentially have people really disagree with you, maybe even potentially look stupid from time to time. But that's what it takes to be bold.
Very well said, Mark. Always be bold. Keep up with great work. Thank you for joining me on this Bold Talk series and look forward to seeing you again soon. Until next time, take care, be great, and be bold always. Cheers.
Cheers.